So, hi guys, welcome to Young and Limitless. And today I'm going to be talking to an absolutely amazing woman. She has got so many stories within stories. Her name is Gloria. So, hi, Gloria.
Hi Esther, how are you?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. I love your accent. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Ah, what was it like growing up as a teenager in Colombia?
Very rough for me. I don't have very good memories from my country because it was very rough for me in the beginning of my life there.
Do you remember what kind of foods you liked as a teenager? What was your favorite
Yes,
food?
I like the one it calls bandeja paisa.
Oh, what's that?
That has beans, rice, plantains, eggs, salad, avocado, and banana.
Wow.
And chicharrón. Chicharrón is a like a pig. It's a pig meat. It's like the
Uh-huh.
is the skin. I don't like it too much because it's too greasy for me.
Ah.
And also we have sausages, but I also don't want this. I don't like also the sausages. It's a
Wow, I
lot.
think sounds so healthy. Avocados and beans and rice. It sounds tasty. What spices do you put in it?
We don't use too many spices.
Okay.
We are like well, my mom was like that. My mom was more into oregano and maybe a little bit of salt.
Ah. So
Yeah.
when you were a teenager growing up, what was your relationship like with your mum?
Well, with my mom, it was a little bit difficulty because my mom was living with a man very violent. So when your women live with a man that's very violent, some women get very vulnerable. And
Okay.
some women are like adapt to the violent and they accept the violent of the man.
Mm.
So my mom was like for me like a victim. I know she can have the choices to make me make the move to not live with him anymore, but I have to understand that it was a different culture and it's something that for her it was okay to have a violent husband.
Sorry, was that your dad? Was that your biological dad who was
Yes,
violent?
yes, yes. So I grew up with her, watching her crying,
Mm.
watching her sad, watching her punch in her face,
Oh.
watching her bruise everywhere. And I remember one day she was so bruised and she went and do the breakfast and give the breakfast to my father like a normal way. And to me was like, what? How she can do that? Like it was, today I would
Hmm.
say I cannot do that. I
Hmm.
can't. And my mom, and then my mom like, okay, my father comes like every day, like a 5:30 or 6 p.m. from work.
Hmm.
And I was shaking the whole time growing up, very anxious because I knew he was coming to make a problem to my mom for any reason, for no reasons.
So can I ask, did he turn his violence on you?
On me too. On
Did
me
you
too.
have did you sorry, did you have any siblings? Does it
Yes, we are three. We are three. We are three brothers. I am the older ones, and I'm the only woman in the house. And my other are two brothers. But because my culture is more like a macho mentality, like a
Oh.
more toward men, so women are for my father, because I need to speak for my father. For my father, women are nothing. So my two brothers there was like this the spoiled the favor ones and everything, but because he knows my mother was protecting me all the time and I was kind of the favor of my mother just to be her, same gender, and because
Mm.
it's her little girl, so he attacked me more because he knew attacking me it was hurting my mom the most.
Wow, that sounds horrific. So,
Yes.
was there a point in your life when you kind of stood up, or you said that's enough, or how did you manage that? What did you do?
I remember like until I remember 6 years old. I my first 6 years of my life, I live in Canada.
Oh,
And my father and my mother, I born in Colombia, but I went to Canada when I was 9 months, and I stayed in Canada until I was 6 years old.
mm,
6 years old, I went back to Colombia, and I remember going in a lot of depression because the change of schools, and I didn't like it too much. It
oh.
was like what happens here? It was like a night and day. So I start going to school and not wanting to go to school. And my father was, I started like seeing all those patterns of my father very young. Like my father, I remember my father coming and screaming all the time, calling my mom names. And I was going to school like a very distracted, I was in school, but I was thinking about my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking the teacher, and I was the teacher for me sound like a blah 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 blah. I was not paying attention.
How long did that go on for?
I think that goes from when I was 7 years old to maybe 14, 15 years old.
Mm-hmm. And what
I
happened when you
I was
were
not the
14?
best. Yeah, I was not the best student, but I was not the worst student.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of a little bit quiet in this quiet side, and I don't socialize too much in that moment.
Why did it change when you were 14, 15?
When I turned 15, I start no, this is not the right way. Earlier, I was feeling that, but I didn't have the power to say and stand up and say no,
Mm-hmm.
because he always make us feel nervous and fear of him. When you're little, you don't understand that. So you grow up in fear and scared about that man. I did
How
feel a lot that scared about him.
how did you feel that you were becoming more powerful? How did you feel that?
It was okay, like I said, I was 15, and then 16, I was getting more stronger. Okay, now I have a voice.
Mm.
And I start confronting him. When one day he punched my mom, and then I remember saying, "Why are you punching my mom?" And then he said, "What?" He screamed at me. He said bad words to me. "You cannot say anything to here. Get out of here!" Very bad. And I went back again, and I said, "No, you cannot do this to us anymore." And he was like a crazy eyes to want to beat me. So I let it be, and I was inside, something was inside of me, eating me, this wanted to talk about it. This wanted to just say to the world what he was doing to us.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was 18 years old, I saw a very bad moment. And that moment was the moment that I said, enough is enough. My father didn't let me go out anywhere, but my brothers can do anything, but I cannot go anywhere.
Mm.
So one night we was in Cartagena, and I told my father, "Can I go out with my friend?" And he said, "You have to be here at 12 o'clock. And my brothers can come at 1 a.m., at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And they was younger than me.
Mm.
One is 4 years, I'm older 4 years, and the other one is I'm older 8 years. So I said, how come they can be in the street
No
until the
way.
time they want, and I have to be at 12 here? But you know what? I said, okay, this is what it is. So I went with my friend. That day was not good to be out. I came 11:50 p.m. As soon he saw me, I came. Instead of saying, "Oh, good that you came early," no, he came on me with a crazy eyes. He probably was drinking, and probably he was doing some kind of drugs. I never saw my father doing drugs, but I saw my father drinking a lot. So for me to say he was doing drugs, it was hard, but I think because the way he react towards me, it was not for a person who just drink. Because he get up from that sofa with a crazy eyes, and he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Dad, Dad, I'm here. It's 11:50. You told me to be 12. I'm here. And he said, well, I told you to be here at 12. I said, well, it's 11:50. So I went to my mom's room.
Mm-hmm.
My mom already have a problem with him before. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
Because every time he drinks, he create problems to my mom and call her slut, call her prostitute, call her all kind of names. So my mom was in the room upset about something. And when I came to my mom, I said, Mom, why my father always have to treat us like this? And my mom saw my father coming from behind with the crazy eyes to grab me and to throw me to a window. And when my mom saw that, my mom pushed me away, and my mom have a cup of tea or coffee, and my mom, the only reaction she had, they grab the tea and throw it in his face. And my mom opened my father like a 50 stitches, and here from the face to the head. And my father was bleeding. And my father get up bleeding and it went into my mom and start punching my mom in the bed like crazy. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? And my mom brother came in and started punching my mom. So two men was punching my mom.
Your mum's brother?
My mom brother.
What's he got to do with it? He should be defending his sister.
Yeah, but because my father was the boss and my uncle was working for my father, he was doing what my father was doing to my mom.
Good grief.
And I was like, I'm like a 5'1" woman. I'm very petite, very small woman. God give me this power that I don't know where it come from. And when I saw those two men beating my mom, I was beating my father on top of it. Get out, please. And something like came into me, and I sliced my mom from the feet. My mom came out like a bottle in the bread. My mom is sliced like that. And my mom was like unconscious. And I pulled my mom in the shoulder, Esther. And I don't remember how I did that. I carried my mom in the shoulder, and I went down 3 flats to take her to my mom to the hospital. That day, I said, that's it. I called my boyfriend, that I have a secret boyfriend because I cannot have boyfriends, but I have to have my secret boyfriend. And I called my secret boyfriend, I need you, please, marry me, because I cannot live anymore in here. This is too much. And the guy said to me, yes, I marry you.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. and then I start.
Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, and then I came home. We came from Cartagena to where I live, and I start planning all my wedding secretly with this guy.
So was that the only way you could have gotten out? There was no other way to leave?
In that moment, I was confused because I was very young. They cut me everything. They cut my wings. They cut my speaking. They cut everything. I was nothing for them. So I thought in that moment for me, it was going to another man to protect me. And I didn't know better.
Was he nice to you?
He was very nice to me. He never mistreated me. And I'm going to tell you how impacted I was that the first day we got married. My father found out that I was going to get married. And my father said, okay, that's what you want. Okay. He didn't say nothing because he saw how I was so determined, because I said to him, oh, what, you're gonna tell the guy, you're going to kill the guy because you want to marry me? And then he said, no. I said, okay, so this is my decision. You have to respect that. That was my very first time I stand up and say, you know what? You're nothing. So the very first night that you marry in this supposedly your honeymoon, and supposedly is the night, your best night in your life, I went to sleep. And at 3 a.m., I wake up like this. Where I am. And my new husband said to me, don't worry, baby, don't worry. I'm here. Don't worry. You're married to me. I'm protecting you. Don't worry. That was I was very affected from that.
What did you do with all those emotions and the anger and the pent-up frustration?
Oh, well, it was terrible because I started like being more when I was kind of depressed and anxiety, and I saw that he was coming in the house and everything. I started like closing the door of my room,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of being crying, instead of being sad, I always have the passion for creativity, and I was fortunate enough to have like the furniture for the Barbies. I love Barbies.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I love Barbies, and I have all the like the furniture for the Barbies. So when I was like very sad and depressed and anxiety, and I know I don't want to go out and see my father's face, and I don't want to hear anything, I close the door in my room and I start creating rooms for Barbie, and I start cutting in the magazines like the pictures of frames for the walls of the Barbie house. So I was consuming my time to not to listen to the Bo or the BS. It was focusing more on my Barbies and creating the rooms for the Barbies. So Barbie for me, the doll was very powerful because it was for me the outlet for me to avoid all these problems with my father and
Mm.
they hear all this the respect thing about women. He called me when I was 14 years old, prostitute, slut, piece of shit, you are nothing. And I cry a lot, and it made me feel bad about it. And but I was thinking in my side, I said, you know what, this is not true. this
Mm-hmm.
is this is not true. I'm gonna show you that is not true. Even he called me all that when I lost my virginity when I was 17 years old, not 14,
Well,
not
it's got
14,
nothing to do with him anyway.
right. But and then I find out that he was cheating on my mom with younger women. So he thought all younger women was slut, and he call my mom slut and call me slut all the time he wanted. So I hear all the time slut. So when a man call a slut another woman, I get very angry.
Mm-hmm.
I get triggered. I get very bad.
Did you talk to your friends? Did you, or was there anybody you could talk to and explain, look, this stuff is going on?
It was very hard because my father had a lot of power in that moment, and a lot of people was afraid of him.
Okay.
I was the only one that I didn't have, like, I was not afraid at the end. When I was 18, when I was 19, when I was 21, 20, I was like, you are nothing. You cannot tell me what I have to do, what I study, or what I want. And he also said when I had my daughter, because I had my daughter with my first husband, when I divorced that husband, and it was a very, very sad story right there. And when I divorced my first husband, my father said to me, now you are dead for men and for the world because you have to focus to raise that daughter, and you cannot go anywhere. And I remember saying to him, really, you know what, you see this arm, this is skin, and this is life, and I feel so and I'm 21 years old, so why are you gonna tell me that already got married, divorced, and already have a daughter, you're gonna control my life? You're not gonna control my life anymore.
Mm-hmm. So was there a point in your life where you just cut your dad out because he was so nasty?
I cut my father out when I was 27 years old, maybe
Okay.
26. After, because I got, they kidnapped me when I was 25 years old. They
Oh.
kidnapped me. We don't know exactly who did it, but they kidnapped me because my father have in that moment a lot of power, a lot of money, and they want that money. When you live in a place that the money is noticeable for a lot of people, people started asking questions why, and some people are like, okay, let's kidnap these people because we want money. And in my country, in that time, it was very common the kidnap situation. That was very common. So I was one of those victims in that time. And I remember I telling the kidnappers, why you guys kidnap me? Why you guys don't kidnap one of my brothers? Because
Exactly.
I know my father is not gonna give me, is not gonna pay anything for me. That's exactly just what I said to them. And even the kidnapper said, what? What are you talking? I said, yeah, because my father don't care about women. And one of the kidnappers said, but for men, when you have a daughter, a baby daughter, that's your baby. That's your number one thing. And that's why we kidnap you, because we thought you was the soft spot of your father.
Oh, they didn't know your dad, did they?
They didn't know my father very well.
Mm.
Being kidnapped on December 18, 1997, when my father asked for a proof for that I was alive, he requests a communication. He wants to hear my voice. So they kidnapped me on October 22nd, 1997, and I had the first communication with my family in December 18, 1997. So I already passed like a month and a half already kidnapped in the dark. And the first thing I hear my father saying was in that communication, I said to my father, "Hi, Dad. How are you, Father? I'm very bad. I'm terrified. Please get me out. Please get me out. Pay whatever money they're asking. Please, please, please." And my father said this to me: "Well, daughter, I don't know what to say to you, but I don't have the money to pay for you. And the only thing I can say to you is your daughter is in a good hands. So whatever happens, whatever happens." That there, right there, it was like, what? What happened here? Even the kidnappers, because I didn't see the faces of them, but I see the eyes.
Okay.
The kidnappers right away blow their eyes like, what? Even the kidnappers say, I never hear such a story in my life.
Mm-mm.
Never hear such a response from a family to a person that is kidnapped. It was kind of roulette. For me, it was a roulette. Because that communication, it was the key for me to be alive or for them to kill me.
Mm.
Because you are playing with the unknown. If it was my case, I have my daughter kidnapped. Oh my God, I would say, baby, I'm doing everything I can. I'm selling everything. I will sell my underwear and I will be naked for my daughter.
Exactly. That would be normal.
It will be nothing, like a nothing.
Yes.
Get everything with you if you want, but give me my daughter back again alive.
So what did you do with that? I mean, that's rejection on the sky high scale.
I cried. I went into my knees, asking to the guys to please don't kill me.
Mm.
Please, please don't kill me. I have a daughter that is waiting for me, that she's 3 years old, and that's what God gave me to raise. So please don't kill me for money. Don't kill me for money. I have an apartment and I have a car in my name. Let me write a letter to someone so maybe to understand that this is the money that I have, but don't kill me for money, please. And one of the guys got tear out about the whole thing. And then he said, I'm going to give you the opportunity. Write down that letter. Let's see what happened here. So for me, it was like, okay, let's breathe again. I'm trying to survive my life here. Let's see what this is going to take me. So it was terrible. And when they released me on January 28, 1998, my father, when he saw me, he thought I was coming with a bad face, like a very bad shape. And I didn't come with bad shape because I was already there for 3 months. And I realized that, okay, I'm here. What else I can do? I need to live the present. And I know the first 11 days for the kidnap was terrible, but I already was there for 3 months, cry a lot for 3 months. How much I was going to cry for? The only thing I was waiting for is just to see my little girl to come in my arms, and I just don't. That was the only thing I just want to have in my life. That little girl running into my arms. That was the only thing. And I remember everybody was surprised because they see me very in good shape, even happy and very with my eyes very crying of joy, but very happy because I was free.
Yeah.
Say that I'm free, guys. I'm free. And the first thing I saw was my daughter, because my daughter had a little. There are some kids that like to have the cover, and that's the blanket, the little blanket, and they run everywhere with the little blanket. And you have to go to a restaurant with the little blanket, like everywhere. And I saw my little girl walking when I came back home. I see my little girl with the blanket like this, mommy, 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 mommy. And she hugged me, and mommy, you're not going away. Mommy, mommy, you're not going away. She didn't understand what was the problem. And the very first day, my father looked at me like that, and he said, you don't look like you was kidnapped. You look like you was auto-kidnapped yourself.
Oh
And
my God.
I say to myself, oh my God, people really don't change. Some people don't change. Some people they can go through hardships. God can put them the face in the ground and don't change. And that day, I say to myself, and I'm excused because I need to use this word, fuck that shit, I'm leaving this country forever. And took me 9 months to a year to decide to come to this country. And the day I told my father I was coming to this country, he humiliated me and said to me, I said, I'm going to the US. And he said, you going to the US? Who are you? You're nothing. You cannot even clean your own shit. Just like that. And what kind of money you gonna go to the US? I said, with $500. And he laughed about me. He laughed. You with $500? Ha 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 ha. You're gonna be here in 3 months and asking me for forgiveness in your knees because you're nothing. You're not gonna do nothing. And I turned around. He said that to me like in front of 10 men. You know what I said to him? I give him the F word, F, and I said, you know what? You're not going to put me down, and I'm gonna show you who I'm gonna become.
Absolutely.
I don't need your blessings. I'm leaving, and I came to this country. I remember in the airport, nobody in my family take me to the airport. I was crying, and the only guy who took me to the airport was one of the guys who offered himself to bring the money to the kidnappers when they kidnap me, because not everybody can do that, because everybody is afraid to do that. So this guy took me to the airport, and he said to me, Gloria, don't worry, you're going to be a successful woman, because if you pass your kidnapped, you cannot succeed in anything.
Absolutely. So how was your dad with your daughter? Did he miss your daughter?
No, that's incredible. He was not that with her. He spoiled her to death.
Oh.
Even when I was pregnant on my daughter, you know what my father said to me? I'm pregnant. When he found out I was pregnant, I don't even want to see that what are you gonna have? I don't care if you're pregnant, just like that.
How come he treated your daughter so differently?
I had no idea. No idea. I look at him playing with her, and I look at him in the floor with her, and I said to myself, this is not the guy who raised me.
That's bittersweet, isn't it? I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good that he's not going to hurt her, but it's bitter because why did he? How could he not? If he can do it then, how come he couldn't do it with you?
No idea. He hate my mother. Probably he hate my mother, and because my mom, women, we protect women.
Mm-hmm.
So probably that was the outlet for my father to hurt my mother. Because when my mom got pregnant of me, he just like, oh, really? And also my grandmother cursed my mom when my mom was pregnant of me.
Oh boy.
And when my father find out that I was a girl, he said, a girl?
How is your daughter's relationship now with your father?
No, my daughter don't have a very good relation with my father because my daughter find out the way he damaged me.
That's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
She find out that my daughter issues come from my father because my daughter has issues because of me.
Mm.
And because I've been a bad mother, it's because I didn't deliver the right love to my daughter. Because I was so consumed to come here to this country and work a lot of hours to provide for my daughter.
Because you
And
had to.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have no choice. And she had many times alone. And sometimes I have to pick her up and bring her with me to work because I have long shifts because I was blessed to be in an industry that paid me very well, but it was a lot of hours that I have to work to put food on the table, to pay for her stuff. My daughter was very young to understand that.
How's your relationship with her now?
Is my daughter, believe it or not, my daughter have depression and anxiety.
Okay.
Our communication is very bad.
Oh.
I also, not too long ago, maybe 3 years ago, I asked her for forgiveness for the lack of attention, of the lack of whatever she feel that I was lacking. And I said to her, please forgive me. Please, you have to understand where I'm coming from. This is not excuse or to be a victim of what I did, but you have to know that I went for a very huge traumas in my life. And for me to be able to give you the better thing I can, it was what I had to offer you. So she's 25 and she's still a lot of anger in herself. But I always hear for her. I always text her. I always see what she's doing. But it's up to her to open to me again. I can't control that.
So how did you work through your depression and anxiety?
Well, I have a bad temper. And when I get mad, I get very mad, and sometimes I say things that I shouldn't. But I get triggered, and sometimes when you have trauma in your life and you get triggered, there's some ways that you cannot control. I've been working for many, 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 many years in myself. I've been in therapy many, many years about that issue, and I'm better.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine how any of that would impact you long term. If you could go back and tell your younger self, give your younger self one piece of advice, what would you say to her?
Well, I would say number one, if you're young and you are in a violent environment, because violent could be physical and mentally, to not pay attention to those stuff and reassure yourself that you are a good person, that you are who you are, and no one can change that from you. Sometimes people hurt us for lessons, but not because it's you. It's because they probably have problems. They don't know what they're doing. But you never can get this too personal to you, because I did that. I think I thought it was personal towards me, but I also inside of me was telling me, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. I'm a good girl. I don't lie. I do the right thing. I go to school. I don't have sex with everybody. I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. And I was like that. I was a pretty good girl. And receiving all this kind of humiliation and all this the respect, it took me like working in myself and loving myself and telling every day myself, no, that's not right, that's not good, that's not good, that's not right. And it was a mentally work all the time.
Sorry. How old were you when you started to tell yourself how much you loved yourself and that you are
Very
good?
young. Very young, I would say 10, 12 years old. I didn't grasp it like the way I can grasp it now, like a 47. But I was saying, I was in my 10, 12 years old. When I was 10 or 12 years old, I was saying, my father is not, that's what he's saying is not true. What my father is saying is not true. That is not gonna bother me. That's not gonna change my life. That's not gonna change my way.
So that was a very strong part of you, that you were
Yes.
very strong at the age of 10. So if there's
Yes.
somebody who hasn't quite got there yet, what could you say to help them to realize that it's not them, it's the other person, and that they are good, they are special?
I would say number one, speak up, talking to a person that they trust. Because if they don't choose the person who they trust, they probably can go and say to the other person and they can create more problems. So they have to tell what they're feeling and what's happening to the person who really trusts, and find help. Find help. And very important thing is if it create a big bond with the mother. Create a big bond with the mother. Because mothers always would understand. And also you have to understand that probably is that issue that you're having with your parents is creating you a very strong woman or a very strong man able out there to confront the world that is harder.
And that's it. So they can turn it around, but it does take time to turn that scared, that vulnerability into a place of strength and power.
It takes a lot of power of yourself to do that. To especially with it when you are afraid. Let me tell you, when you are afraid, you are afraid. You don't want to talk. You're nervous all the time. Oh, no. What are they going to say to me? Oh, no. What are they going to say to me? Oh, no, in panic mode. And if you guys don't cut that now that you're young, when you guys are my age, 47, you're going to feel a lot of problems in your health.
So it's scary to be brave, but it's almost like you need to somehow overcome that scaredness now. Otherwise, in decades later, it just gets worse, and you beat yourself up. I don't know, but I did. But yeah.
You know what I would say? Don't scare about the no, because no means on.
And keep going.
Yeah, keep growing. If there's somebody told you no, guess what? It's on.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you have a relationship with your mum now?
Yes.
How is that?
In the beginning, long time, I maybe criticize her a lot of what she allowed to happen, why she didn't have the courage to say bye. I can't stand you anymore. You're harming. You are distracting my kids. You're hurting my kids. She didn't have that. But also I have to understand that part, that she was not strong enough either. She was afraid to. She received a lot of punches. And who knows how much things my father told her in a door closed.
Absolutely.
One of the experience that my mom told me, it was when my mom was pregnant of my second brother. My father get mad at her And my father put a gun in my mom's mouth and put my mom in the knees. So imagine all the things that my father did to my mom. Door closed. And now I see her and I just want to kiss her and I just want to hug her and I just want to cry with her because she's freaking strong. She was strong to pull the thing to stay there for us.
Yeah.
It was not weak. I would say she was strong.
Yes. But you came to value that later on.
Later on.
Yeah. How's your relationship with your dad now? Sorry.
When my father, it was good until this year. I forgive my father maybe, I'm here in this country 20 years. I forgave my father 18 years ago.
Wow.
I forget him. And you know why? Because for you to be able to grow up in life and to receive blessings in every single corner of your life, you need to be in peace with your enemies.
It's very deep, man. Very mature.
And I called my father and I said to him, I want to ask you for forgiveness and I want to forgive you. He didn't understand that. He didn't understand.
You did it for yourself.
I did it for myself. And I remember doing that. And I remember my life start changing like drastically, blessing. Start having good jobs, good thing. I start growing faster and faster and faster. I said, wow, what the power of the forgiveness.
That's really powerful.
And I asked my therapist if it's okay for not be communicating a lot with my father. And she said, it's okay.
Yeah. And who knows what the future will hold. But at the moment, it's not good for you, not healthy.
It's not, because everything I do, I call him and say, Dad, I'm graduating. I'm a professional podcaster. I'm working in depression and anxiety. And he said, oh, really? But I'm happy because the most important thing for me is my life. Because God would judge me for what I do to me, to myself, and to others. So thank you for all the lessons that he gave me. Thank you for all the enemies that I have in my life. That is my masters, and create the stronger and the successful woman that I am today. Because to be in the US and to be where I am, like living the American dream, you have to work a lot because it doesn't come.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. I did it and I worked like many hours in my life. When I came here, second day of being in the US, I already have a job.
Oh, one last question. If you could tell your mum, like one thing to help her through what she was going through at the time now, as you are now. So imagine that there's a mum listening and she's going through the same thing. What would you say? What would you say to support her and help her?
Like if my mom is still going through that?
Yeah.
Like a woman right now going through what my mom went? I told my mom many times when I was 15, Mommy, please, let's get out of here. Mommy, we are women. We can work. We can progress. You cannot be here with this man disrespecting you and treating you so bad. You deserve better. That's what I said to my mom when I was 15 years old, crying. Mommy, please, let's get out of here. I will help you. I will work. We will do anything, but we will not be bad. We will be better.
And I think that tell somebody something without feeling shame. There's no shame. There shouldn't be any shame.
No. If you are living with a man that is tormenting you, is creating trauma, and is creating sadness, anxious, get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. They can help. There's a lot of groups where women help other women. They're in distress. Get help. Don't stay there and receive punches and receive the respecting, because there's a lot of women like us that we go through that we went through that. We're telling the story for you guys to not go through the same story because it's very painful. So speak up. Speak up. There's a lot of strong women there to help you,
Yes,
because
yes.
we are not weak. We don't know
No,
what
absolutely
to do.
not. Yes,
No.
yes. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Gloria. I mean, that's just like, we went through that quite fast, but I know that you have a podcast and that you
Yes.
talk about the issues a lot more. How could they find you?
Yeah, they can. My podcast name is Unbreakable Life with Glory. And why the name is Unbreakable Life with Glory? Because I unbreak my life with glory, being blessed with God, with your God. It could be with your God, with my God, with any God you believe on. And they can find in iTunes and Spotify. And right now I have 25 episodes there with different guests. And also I have solo cast about talking about exactly details about the experience that when I was kidnapped. And at the end, it's just a powerful reflection for you to be able to compare your life or where you're going and what happens to me. So you probably can change and help. And my mission is to help people with depression and anxiety.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. What an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
No, thank you to have me in your show.
So guys, thank you for listening. And if you're on Instagram, follow me. It's Young Limitless Podcast, all one word, and I'll follow you back. So have a good week, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.